good riff doesn't necessarily have to be complicated or hard to play, but there has to be something in it that makes the listener want to hear more. They're engaged, they're interested. Here are 3 riffs that I've been loving to play lately. That one you just heard is the first one we're going to dive into. It's kind of like a Motown riff. The rhythm in this is what creates that interest and that excitement. It goes from A, D. I'm on the 5th fret here, okay? Now I play with my thumb. Since like I was a kid, that's just how I learned. And if you don't want to use your thumb, that's totally fine by me. You can use it however you want to use it. I hit the bass note. And I hit the top 2 notes, right? The E and the G, which creates that kind of like texture, right? A bass note and then a high textural note, a staccato. Bass note, high note, slide into the 3rd. And that's where a little bit of style has to come in, right? And you give a little vibrato on the end. And then when you're transitioning to the D section, you go, because you're kind of creating a bass line there too. Some of my riffs, I try to imagine what's the bass playing, what's the drums playing, and what's the guitar playing. And I try to recreate that in a crude way. You can hear that rhythm in this riff, right? Let's go back to that D part. Everything just a string up, right? Or down if you're looking down. D. Still a D, right? Inverted D. That dissonance, it's only a whole step apart, is what gives it that excitement, right? That's why you only stand it for just a little bit. You just touch it, right? You can end it by going to the 5, right? Right? That's just an E7. You know E7. You've played it many times. So you try to imagine the drums. Imagine the whole rhythm section as you're playing really any riff. Like, where am I fitting in? Where's the bass going? Where's the drums going? Where's the singer? Like, if the singer came in, I'm not doing the too distracting, right? The singer, I'm just doing. You just got to lay back, right? Let the singer take control there. Now, once you graduate from that, you got that lick down, you can push some more things on it, right? So that you can do all sorts of different riffs, different licks, and then always come back to that home base, right? So this is a fun little riff. It's kind of just like a Americana sad guy music riff, which I love. That's like my whole thing. It starts off with this nice little double stop, right? So you're just keeping your middle finger on the D string on the 9th fret there. You just stay right there. To an A chord, 1, 5, 3. That's all you need to play. Super simple, right? It's got that tension in the beginning, but it resolves into a nice chord progression, and it ends on a 5, right? The B, which leads you into the next thing, right? Everyone listening wants you to finish that, right? There's a lot of tension in the B, the 5, right? So when you hit the A, you'll come down to hit the 2 high strings. So simple, but it creates a nice little groove, and you can change any of the chords you want. If that's not the chords, you can change it from And that's the great thing about creating kind of like mini riffs, mini songs. You can change things the way you want to create tension, to create release, to kind of push things in a certain way. So that's another one. I've been loving just finding a little double stop and then just building something around that. Now this is just a fun way to end a phrase, right? And this can be put anywhere you want on the fretboard. You can put it, you can just move it down 2 strings, and you can do it like anywhere from any position, and which is why I like it. I don't want to think, right? I just want to feel. And this is in the key of C, but we're starting off in F. And this comes when you're going from an F back to the C. This is a rip-off of like a bunch of Hendrix riffs and everyone that plays like Hendrix, all the greats. You start off with that F up here on the 13th fret. So just like that first riff, we're creating tension and having a whole note between those 2. And then there's more tension there. That's an F add 9. And you just pull that whole thing off. And then the second part, these are the 2 notes that are being played, an E and a G, and the 14th and the 12th fret. And you just pull these off too. It's really very easy. Play it once and forget about it. Set it and forget it. Chromatic down to the D, down to the C, 15th fret, back to the 12th fret. So it's all in that lazy rhythm, these lazy kind of triplets that you're playing it. And it's just like a fun riff. There is a lot of quickness with it, but it doesn't require a lot of dexterity. You're just going ba 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 on your fingers, right? So that's a fun one. So another kind of like sad Americana riff that's got a little rhythm and bass kind of like plugged into it already, right? And it just follows G, D, E minor, C. Very easy chords, right? Some of the first chords you learn. But the interest comes from the way you're arranging it, the way you're pulling apart those chords, and the way you're adding rhythm and texture to it. Bass note, double stop here on the 7th fret. Now instead of going, it's more interesting to create tension. Same note underneath, that D underneath, and it's just giving a lot of, again, it's adding so much tension. Finally get back to that G, your brain is like, yes. So from the D, obviously just a normal D, bass note, high strings, double stop on the 7th fret on the D and the B. You make an E minor shape there, right? And you're keeping that underneath. E minor there. And the reason you don't want to make that an E minor 7 is because it doesn't hold enough power, right? and it kind of gives it a jazz guitar tone and jazz guitar kind of feel, which is not what we're going for on this. Maybe you are, but that's not, I wouldn't put that there. And again, I love jazz guitar, but a minor 7, this might not work. Much more power there. So all we do here is we're playing a C, we're not playing the root note. So the G and the E, right? 10th fret, 9th fret, 10th fret, 7th fret. It's just an inverted C, right? The 3 in the bottom. 7th fret, 5th fret. Pull that, G, right? So what we're saying here, G with a D on the bottom. Now a D with a D on the bottom. And then you add that full G. And it just creates that tension, right? That's an old, I mean, that's like a church hymn. What I've been using throughout this video is a revival trem from Origin Effects. Here's a playlist of all the Origin Effects pedals that I've reviewed. Thanks so much.